Okay, so the area of a circle. The area of a circle, we use pi r squared to calculate it, where r is the radius of the circle. Now there's a square button on your calculator, or if you don't know what r squared means r times itself, so r times r. It's much easier to use your calculator button to square it. So if we look in the first question then, the first thing you need to check, have we got a radius? Now a radius is from the centre to the circumference of a circle, so yes, r is our radius, r is 5. Use the formula, pi times the radius squared, pi times 5 squared. And if you type that in the calculator, you should get 78.53. And the units for this question is going to be centimetres squared because it's area. Now, if you wanted to round that to one decimal place, just call it 78.5. Okay, so the second question, we've got a picture this time, and the circle has given us the diameter. So the diameter of the circle is 4 centimetres. That's because it goes from one side of the circumference to the other. We don't need the diameter for the question, we need the radius. Now the radius, 2 times the radius gives you a diameter, so we need to use our diameter and half it. So 4 divided by 2 tells you that the radius is 2. So half of 4, the radius is 2 centimetres. Okay, once you know that, you can then just substitute it in the formula. We know the formula is pi times r squared. We now know the radius is 2, so pi times 2 squared. Pop that in your calculator, and that should give you 12.566. And if we wanted it just to one decimal place, that would give us 12.6 because it's going to just round up. And again, answers centimetres squared in terms of your units. Again, with area style questions, they could always ask you questions involving semicircles. So for example, if you had a semicircle, I'll keep it to like the one above, and its radius was 2 centimetres, then it would be the exact same method as above. The total area of the first part would be 12.56 if you imagine it as a full circle. But then if you think about what fraction of a circle a semicircle is, it's half of it, so you would then need to divide your answer by 2. Likewise, if it was a quarter of a circle, so let's say you only wanted the one piece there, in the exam it would potentially just look like that, and then we'd just have 2 centimetres on the picture there. You would do the exact same method as above. Imagine the circle was whole. You would do pi times 2 squared, which again would be the 12.56. But if we think that this would be split into 4, then you would need to half it to get a semicircle, and then half it again to get you a quarter of the circle, which is the same as dividing by 4. So if you did that on the calculator, take your original area and divide it by 4, you would get 3.14 as your answer, and again centimetres squared.